Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about The Never Ever Met, Season 1, Episode 3.
Listen here, I need y'all to subscribe. I need y'all to like. I need y'all to comment. I need y'all to share the show. Y'all are doing a good job watching the show. But we want to hear from you. Please leave a comment. Blair, you ready to walk us through this?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Well, Shay and Josh enjoyed the intimacy suite last night.
Okay.
Moving on, Aaron and Diamond, they have a sit-down talk with Sienna and Brandan. Sienna says that they're having issues getting to the romance. Brandan says that he wants to improve their communication.
Okay.
Sienna doesn't really want anybody mediating her. She doesn't know the third party's intentions. Sienna says that he laughed at me when I was being vulnerable. And Brandan gives us the explanation that he pretty much has like a nervous laugh.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to laugh at her. Sienna is saying that, you know, she's kind of dramatic, but that's part of her personality.
I agree with Sienna. Bro, you on the show with me. You never met your girl either.
Yeah.
Throughout this whole process. That's one thing that you will always find amongst couples is that all of y'all could be in the same house on the same show, but someone want to exalt themselves and make them the counselor or make them basically the mentors of everybody else and try to bring people together. What do you think about basically them coming together, Aaron and Diamond trying to basically counsel these two?
See, I don't like the thought of them coming to counsel. I like the thought of them just having a conversation with them, seeing where they're at. And I think because sometimes it's easier on the outside looking in when trying to help people. So I was feeling like they were trying to come to them with a different perspective and trying to help them communicate better with each other. But I agree in the sense that y'all ain't in no better position than us. But I do think sometimes having somebody with a different viewpoint can kind of change things for you in your situation. So that's kind of how I like to look at it.
Yeah, I feel like that only works if I know you.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you can't come basically as a stranger. What if this the first time you really talked to me? What if this the first time you really like got to know me? What if you didn't get a chance to know me?
Yeah.
But you're coming here basically doing these practices that you see on the internet to where basically when you have the pen player, you talk. And when you don't have the pen, you don't talk. It's like...
But they needed that. But maybe it should have been the host
they
or
need a counselor,
a
therapist.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Or Brandan need to leave.
Right.
Truth be told, nothing can fix this in my opinion. But let's keep going.
Sienna did apologize for calling him out of his name. Sienna thinks that they could spend some time alone in the intimacy room. She's talking to him one-on-one now. Millie doesn't see the connection with Brandan and Sienna. She says it looks depressing and stressful to her. Clearly, he wants a woman who is a challenge.
And that could be a problem. Like guys that basically want to, how can I put it? They know they're not happy. They know currently it's an uphill battle, but he's with her because it's a challenge. You get what I'm saying? Like he like to do hard things. But how do you feel about Millie's basically explanation of them two, basically giving them a definition of I don't think they're compatible? I
totally agree with Millie's thoughts about it, but I kind of wish, and maybe it would have been messy, but I wish Millie would have told him that when they were having their conversation, because she sat there and talked to him and said, well, you know, she's a woman and she's emotional,
she's a great girl
and all this type of stuff. But at the same time, I'm like, Millie, be real with the guy. Like, if she seems like a lot, it means she's probably a lot. And for Millie to say, like, this is depressing and stressful and nobody should have to deal with this. And I'm just like, I totally agree. Brandan, you know, get some confidence about yourself. Not saying that he doesn't, but I'm just saying.
He don't got confidence. You're right.
But I'm just like, don't allow this lady to basically come in here and treat you any kind of way and speak to you any kind of way. So, so I feel like Millie should have just kind of taken up for Brandan a little bit and to be like, you know, she might be a great person, but do you really want to climb these walls? Yeah. Is it worth it? You know? Is
there any such thing as being in the same house and just minding your business? Like, you know what? I came here to meet my person. I never met my person. I got my own battles to fight. Or
I want to say yes and no.
How so?
Because I feel like Millie was doing a good job of that. Like, I don't know if you remember the previous episode, I think, where she was in a hot tub and Greg was asking her what she thought about some of the different couples. And she was like, I ain't worried about that. I'm worried about what we got going on. Yeah. But when it comes to these confessionals and all these types of things, like, production wants you to have an opinion on other people's stuff. So I think in this particular situation, like, no, you have to talk about other people. But in real life, I feel like you probably are going to talk about other people when you're having a pillow talk with your partner, but you don't need to be doing it out in the open with other couples and stuff like that. Like, no.
Makes sense.
What about you?
I say mind your business.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a red flag that y'all lived in the same city and y'all never saw each other. I think everybody got their own ish to worry about.
They do.
You get what I'm saying? And yes, Sienna's just a little bit, a lot more to her stink a little bit more.
Yeah.
But at the same time, y'all is on this weird show because all of y'all weirdos.
Okay.
Dude, you get what I'm saying? Let's keep going.
Aaron H. and Greg are talking.
Yeah.
Apparently, Aaron, they're calling her Jody this episode, so I'm going to call her Jody, but it's JoAnna.
Yeah, stick with JoAnna.
JoAnna?
Please. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Stick with JoAnna. Please.
So Aaron and JoAnna really haven't been talking, really haven't even been around each other like that. And Aaron doesn't get why they came.
I don't think she liked him.
Yeah, I don't think she likes him either.
Yeah.
Sienna and Brandan are cooking dinner for everybody.
Yeah.
They even plate the food together. So I'm just like, okay, like they got through their issues.
I don't fall for that.
They're on a good foot.
I don't fall for that. You call me out my name.
Yeah.
And not like the word stupid. No, you call me out my name.
But the thing is, real couples, and maybe because real couples have more history behind them, but real couples can stand somebody getting out of character, checking them, and continuing on in the relationship. So I feel like maybe this was something to where it's just like, maybe we can look back at this as early on. You was wilding and I checked you and we were good ever since.
Did he check her?
No, he really didn't check her.
So I'm like, okay.
But she apologized. So is that don't count for nothing?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. But like, I never had a woman call me a B. Yeah. Ever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, everyone sits down to eat. Diamond has a game.
Okay.
So it's superlatives for the couples. So everyone or each couple gets to vote for who they think is the superlative.
Okay.
Which is the most dramatic couple?
Who is the most dramatic couple, Blair?
Everybody votes Brandan and Sienna.
Of course.
Chris thinks Sienna could stand to calm down a little bit. He's just like, you're just on his neck a lot. Which couple would benefit from couples therapy?
Who, Blair?
Brandan and Sienna.
Oh, okay. The ones who cook the food. Listen here. If everybody vote before the third question, I'm flipping the table.
Well, Diamond's Aaron says Aaron and JoAnna. He says he don't see any type of intimacy between them. And JoAnna, she gets a little bit defensive. Okay. And she says she doesn't need to be up in anybody's face. She says there is a connection, but they don't need to put pressure on it. Things are just going to happen naturally. And my rebuttal to that is, no, they won't. No. Because you're not even around each other. So what is going to happen naturally? You got to be a little bit intentional in life.
No, it's not that no, it won't. No, it didn't.
True.
That's the whole point of why you on this show. Naturally is, I've been speaking to this person. We about to meet somewhere. That's naturally. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Let's meet somewhere because I like you. Even though I think for them, they haven't been together as long as everybody else. But at the same time, like, you trying to use the excuse of, I ain't trying to be up in somebody's face. Don't you like them?
Do you want to be around them?
Like you acting like you talking to somebody who been in a relationship for 20 years or something like that. That makes sense. After 20 years or 15 years, you kind of seek some type of independence. You get what I'm saying? You know, I'm about to go on a walk. Can I come? No. You know, here I'm just walking. But she's trying to use that as an excuse to where she's trying to gaslight us. We saw you when y'all first met. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Of how you made fun of him with the wine opener and how you made fun of him of how he don't know how to salsa and how you made fun of him basically saying, like, who do you think you are walking up here like this is a romantic movie? You don't seem like a girl that likes him. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
The next is the most romantic couple. Everyone says Shay and Josh. I mean, they have been all over each other's bodies. Yeah. Yes. Aaron H. and Millie say that Jody is always complimenting Chris.
JoAnna.
Yeah, JoAnna. Which couple is in most need of the intimacy suite? They said Greg and Millie. Least compatible, Brandan and Sienna. Greg says Sienna seems like she's somebody who wants someone with more of a backbone to challenge her. Basically, maybe she wants somebody to put her in her place.
Stop right there. Is that an insult to Brandan?
Yeah, I think it is.
How so?
Because essentially, I feel like he's calling Brandan weak for basically like, you can't handle Sienna. But I'm the type of person to be like, I don't think anybody should have to handle anybody. We should all be able to handle ourselves and come to people with respect. But maybe that's just me.
You see, my problem with Sienna is that she's 43.
Yeah.
Basically, she's at the midpoint of her life. God willing, she lives to see 86. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So my thing is, okay, if you're like this at 43, you feeling kind of like youthful with your like rebuttals and things like that. I would think about 43, you know, life has beat you down just a little bit.
Maybe you're tired of arguing.
You know, just a little bit. I'm not saying you're old, but I'm just saying just a little bit that at 43 that you kind of have a new appreciation for life because you're almost at that midpoint of life to where you kind of feel your mortality. You wake up, your bones ache a little bit. But it just seems like she's getting stronger. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, I do see it as an insult in some way. Because, but at the same time, Brandan allowed himself to be insulted in this way. You get what I'm saying? Putting himself in this situation. Laughing when there's nothing funny. You know what I mean? That nervous laughter. Going back just a couple, how did you feel about people pointing out that Chris and JoAnna been basically talking more than she been talking to her own man, Aaron?
I think that it was something worth noting and paying attention to, especially because, I mean, who is it? JoAnna and Aaron aren't in a technical relationship, and neither is Sandia and Chris. So if I was Sandia, I would keep my eye out for her for possibly trying to get a new boo off of this show. So I think it's something to pay attention to.
Yeah, I think it's something. I think we're going to see more on that throughout the episode. Let's keep going.
Yeah. Then they say the couple who argues the most and the most toxic, they say Brandan and Sienna. Now, one thing I wanted to point out while this game is going on.
Point it out to me.
Sienna, everyone was just like, oh, like, I'm surprised with how well Sienna's taking this and everything like that. And Sienna's like, well, I know how to control my emotions. Do you? Or do you only know how to control them when you want to? So I was a little bit surprised by how well she was taking it too, because the way that she went off on him, I would think that she wouldn't have a handle on herself.
You think because the way she went off on him that she go off on everybody?
Yeah, that she would just be an irritable person.
So
it's just like, so you think that you can do this to him and it's okay, but you know how to act around other people. Interesting.
No, it's never that. Whenever people know who to pick on, you get what I'm saying? She's not gonna go off on the whole group because remember, in every argument that she's in with Brandan, she's the victim.
And she's trying to get allies,
right? So
people on her side.
So if she
he got 2 baby mamas and all this other stuff.
So if she was to go, she can't go against the group because that would not make her a victim.
Right?
You get what I'm saying? That would make her the aggressor. But she don't see herself as the aggressor. She sees herself as, you wronged me. You did this. You get what I'm saying? Let's keep going.
So the host arrives. She tells everyone that their family members and are going to come tomorrow to meet their significant others and give their opinions on their partners.
Okay, nice.
Brandan's, this is the new day. Brandan's best friend Matt arrives.
Yeah.
Brandan shares that it's been both good and bad. They've been beefing a lot.
Yeah.
She called him out of his name, but she ended up apologizing.
What did that mean, Brandan?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, what do that mean? You talking to your friend over here talking to you, and he's like, you know, you're really never out of character. You know, you really, nothing really gets you there unless it's like something serious. And basically, on the surface, you can look at it and say, oh, he basically was commending Brandan and things like that. But truth be told, I think there's flaws in Brandan's character. Hold on. Let me make sure I make it clear. The flaws is not the reason why Sienna's going off. Right?
Totally separate.
I'm talking about independent. Brandan don't like confrontation. And he thinks that, oh, I'm not going to give my energy to it. You get what I'm saying? But you still sit next to it.
Yeah.
You're still around it, right? So in some way, you are giving energy to it because you're still in the proximity of it. You get what I'm saying? He thinks he's in control by not saying anything or not removing himself. But actually, he's just subjecting himself to the abuse, which I don't understand.
Yeah, that's fair. Diamond asks Josh and Shay how soon they're going to try to get married since they've invested 12 years into each other.
Okay.
Josh says marriage is definitely on the table. And Diamond brings up, well, I heard you had a baby on her. So what's up with that?
That's true.
And Josh says it was a roommate situation. You know, the baby happened. Shay was aware of it the whole process of what was going on. Shay says she's over it now. The baby's 3 years old and they're good.
What are your thoughts on that? I think, Shay, you need some self-esteem. But let's keep going, Blair. What do you think about that?
I mean, I don't think that would work for me. But at the same time, I feel like there probably does have to be a level of understanding on both their ends. The fact that they've been together for 12 years and never met each other. That the fact that maybe this isn't a serious relationship. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I guess I wouldn't take the relationship that seriously if this is an online relationship for 12 years.
They talk about marriage, Blair.
Okay, but I'm saying that I feel like if y'all haven't met each other in 12 years, then to me, y'all kind of single. I don't know.
I feel like
I don't know.
Shay have self-esteem issues.
Possibly.
Because you never met this guy. You all up on this guy. And he had a baby on you, you knowing, and you stayed with this guy. And now you're over here like, yeah, that was, the baby's 3, that was 3 years ago, whatever it was. And he's trying to brush it off like it was a roommate situation. What do that even mean? You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Like basically. But
I guess I'm feeling like I don't think they were taking a relationship that serious. But I could be wrong.
They said they've been together for 12 years. I'm only going by what they say.
Okay.
Right? If they've been talking or been in some type of exclusive relationship to the point that a person said you had a baby on her, yeah, right? Obviously, trust has been broken, right? Before y'all even seen each other. So I'm kind of looking at Shay as, oh, y'all always in this boom boom room and things like that. Y'all always looking like y'all close. But what it is about your self-esteem that is putting you with this guy who had a baby with you, and the best way he can explain it is, it was a roommate situation. It happened. That's not a good enough reason. You know what I'm saying? Like something shady about that couple.
I mean, the fact that they were together for that long and never met, that's shady alone.
Something is shady that I think we go see something down the line with them.
Yeah. Well, Sienna's friend Gigi arrives.
Hey, Gigi.
So they both live in the Bronx. They both live alone. Sienna tells her that they've been arguing a lot. He thinks that she's overly emotional. She says instead of taking his issues up with her, he spoke to another woman. And then she also tells her friend about the Kama Sutra situation to where he said he was bored when she was sitting on top of him.
Oh, my goodness. She painted him so bad. Did you tell him you called him a B?
Did you tell him that you were talking to Greg while he was talking to Millie? Did you tell her that? No. That's why I understand what you mean. Like, she likes to be the victim in her head.
Of course.
Because she is a strong participant in the downfall of the situation.
Everything she does is based off of her everything she does, is based off of her feeling like she has to defend herself. So she's not going to be the aggressor.
Yeah.
In her eyes. You get what I'm saying? In her eyes, she can't justify going off on everybody. But she can justify, you know what? You said I was boring on TV. You get what I'm saying? Now, did Brandan have to say that? No, he didn't have to say that. But at the same time, you don't got to call me out my name.
But he didn't call her boring.
He said he's bored. I will say this. For one, that exercise was weird. I understand that, right?
Yeah.
But if this whole thing is about feeling a connection, I would not use the word bored while we're doing these practices. That's just me.
Fair. That's fair.
I would read the room just a little bit. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? No one else said they're bored. Why would I say I'm bored? You get what I'm saying? Like, it makes no sense. Even though I may feel like it's stupid, even though I may feel like it's pointless, I don't want to put myself in those situations where I got to apologize for something that I really don't mean. Okay. Right? And he probably just thought it was bored because she chose a position to where she ain't facing him. He just sitting back and he said, I feel like I should go watch TV. Well, obviously, this is not a TV time. This is sex position time.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, I understand. But she did a terrible job talking to Gigi and basically bringing up her transgressions. Bringing up the things that she did wrong and things like that. She over here talking about he did this and he did that and he did this. And Gigi like, what? But tell him, or tell her rather, that you called that man out his name.
But see, I also think Gigi knows her friend, because even though she said all of that,
yeah,
Gigi said it may be too soon to decide what you're going to do. Just feel him out, test things out, and just kind of see how things go. So I think Gigi knows. I know my friend telling me he did all this stuff, but clearly she's the type to leave stuff out.
That's fair.
And Sienna says that she thinks she could get back to the feelings they had when they first got there, of things being positive, wanting to be intimate. She thinks they can get back there. So I think her friend peeps her, and it's just kind of like, dang, that sounds crazy, but also like, get to know the guy.
Possibly.
So Diamond FaceTimes her daughter. Yeah. She tells her that she's learning more about Aaron, and he really is as sweet as he is online in person.
Yeah.
And he started crying when they first met at the restaurant.
Yeah. I don't trust Aaron.
Yeah.
It's funny. Now that I'm hearing myself talk, I don't trust a lot of these people.
Yeah.
Right? Something about Aaron, I wish I had his initial, Aaron, the one that's got Aaron H, that got his nails painted. Something about him just come off as sneaky. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is, but it just come off as sneaky. Hopefully I'm proven wrong, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Then we've got Greg and Millie. Yeah. They're enjoying some time in the hot tub. Mm-hmm. Millie can see them being long term. She thinks both of them are both on that page of seeing that for each other. Okay. Greg can respect that she's making him work for it, but sex is important to him. That's something that he's going to want.
Okay.
So they're like kissing in the hot tub, feeling up on each other and stuff like that. Millie is telling the girls when she gets back to the room that he was kissing on her, but she wants him to slow down, make it more organic. She wants to make sure it's something real and stable.
What does she mean by more organic?
She was saying stuff like kiss me on the forehead and all this type of stuff. Like, we are in a romantic relationship. Like, I don't know what you mean. Like, kiss me in my mouth. I don't know. Maybe she feels like they're moving too fast physically. And I mean, that's her prerogative. But I'm just like, are you or are you not like romantically and physically attracted to this guy? Like, why would you? I mean, are you guys a couple? I think they said they are a couple, right?
These are the couple that lived in the same city and didn't see each other, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
So I don't like, words have meaning. So I need to understand what you mean by more organic and things like that. Like, what's not organic is living in the same city, dating each other, and never seeing each other. Yeah. Right? So when he wants to kiss up on you and basically show you that, he's lusting after you, who knows? Because he probably don't even know you like that. You probably don't know him like that. Mm-hmm. Just tell him slow it down. But I don't know what you mean by you want it to feel more real. Yeah. Like, kiss me on the forehead. Okay. But just yesterday, the host had y'all doing sex positions. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to go back to kissing your hand. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just strange of how they want things to happen normal and naturally, but every couple on this show had an unnatural relationship. Absolutely. So I'm like, y'all already on unnatural like grounds. Mm-hmm. The foundation of it is already unnatural. So now for them to please some type of normalcy is kind of like, y'all, all of y'all weird in this house, basically. Like, you get what I'm saying? And
I agree with you on that. Like, it's going to look differently because, one, you met them online, mm-hmm. and that's already going to be a situation because it's not like you met through family or friends mm-hmm. to where you have some level of familiarity. Mm-hmm. Now, online dating, fine, whatever. That's just how life is at this point. Okay. So say you meet online. Now, you spent all this time building this relationship of an online relationship to where what Sienna said, which I felt like was pretty true at the moment she was talking, when she was saying, like, I thought I knew the person, mm-hmm. things I didn't know, I kind of filled in the gaps with my imagination mm-hmm. type of thing. And so you've built up this person who you think they are. When you meet them, it could be totally different. Yeah. It could be the same as far as Diamond is saying. So you really are kind of like, okay, I'm actually kind of meeting you for the first time, even though I thought I knew you. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I can understand why she would want to take her time with things, but I can understand with him, it's just like, we've been talking for 3 years. Like, like, what else we need to talk about? This is our time to actually be physical. And and I don't want to just be stuck on the physicality, mm-hmm. but you can't preach to me you want something organic when you lived in the same city and didn't pick a time to see each other. Right. You already chose to do something abnormal. Yeah. So I'm already off that completely. And I think some of these people, or maybe a lot of them, are people, and I want to make sure I use the right words, but there's like documentaries or different things I've read where it's basically like some people will choose to be in a relationship with somebody who's unavailable, mm-hmm. or will choose to be with somebody who isn't close in proximity, so that way they can have that distance or that mm-hmm. wall between them of like comfortability. So I think that some of these people are probably uncomfortable with the fact that, oh, the partner is here in my face and I actually have to deal with them and work through issues. That's where it was like, I was able to just put my phone down, say I was busy, mm-hmm. and then get back to them when I wanted to have like a romantic moment. So I think that's another factor at play here.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. So Diamond and Aaron are going to the boom boom room. Okay. She plans on not having sex until marriage. Okay. Diamond and Aaron think that JoAnna would want to be with Chris. They're just like, she is like all up in Chris's stuff. Aaron gets the rubbing on her feet, sucking on her toes. I'm like, why did we have to see that?
What did you think about that scene, Blair?
I was happy that they are getting more intimate or whatever. That's good for their relationship. That's all I had to say about it. Now, when they were talking about JoAnna and Chris, I just felt like that was an awkward time to bring that up. I mean,
you in the boo boo room finally, and now you talking about somebody else.
Yeah, so I thought it was just kind of like, why are we talking about them when y'all like this is y'all's moment?
Well, you understand, he's in his 50s, so he like to gossip. He like to talk about things.
Yeah,
he told that woman, "I'm gonna suck your toes."
Yeah.
He said, "Listen here, I got a foot fetish." And when he said that, he licked his lips. I don't know if y'all caught it. He said, "I have a foot fetish," and then he licked his lips.
Okay.
And then he said, "I'm gonna suck those toes."
Okay.
And I'm just like, thank you for the scene. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Sucking toes with your nails painted as a man, it was different for me. I was not expecting to see that. But Aaron, I don't know what time you on, but blessings to you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Let's keep going.
So the other couples are in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Chris and Sandia, JoAnna and the other Aaron. Chris is saying the chemistry with him and JoAnna is just so natural. Like he feels like they think alike. Aaron says that, before we move on to the next part, I was just like, I think Sandia is peeping what's going on here. Because like she was looking, she didn't seem uncomfortable, but I feel like she's like definitely aware of just like, y'all getting a little too friendly.
Maybe.
Aaron basically was saying that he wanted a sip of JoAnna's drink, and she was just like, no, like get your own, like you're acting like a 6-year-old and stuff like that. And I'm just like, JoAnna, like you are just not nice to this man. dude at all.
Dude, you know what's funny? Whenever a girl likes someone, right, or whenever somebody likes someone, but usually you see it in girls, when they like a guy, they think that guy's the funniest. They think that guy's the smartest. Chris over there saying something and she just yucking it up, laughing, and then basically basically thinking Chris is so profound.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? While Aaron is standing there looking like a simp. I'm sorry. Right?
It looked like he was falling asleep.
Right. He's standing there like a simp. He's laughing along, not even knowing that he's really the joke.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because you got another man over here yucking it up with basically your girl, and then when you ask for a sip of her drink, she yells at you in front of everybody to basically belittle you in front of everybody. Now, here's the thing about it, right? Not to nitpick. I don't like to drink after nobody, right? So there would never be a time to where I would ask my wife, can I have a sip of what she's drinking, right? We don't eat after each other. We don't drink after each other. But I find it very hard to believe that I will be belittled in that moment to where it's like, oh my God, because you got to listen to what she said. She said, oh my God, you're like a 6-year-old. Get your own stuff.
Yeah.
What did it call for that?
Right.
Why are you talking so loud? You know what I'm saying? Just smack my hand away or something. But it's just like
or just be like, let me get you a little something.
Perfect.
I'll make you something real quick.
Like, no, this is mine, but I got you. Let me make you yours. Right? But she's using these situations, right, to belittle him while at the same time talking about like, yeah, me and Chris, so natural.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on with this? But I hear you.
Well, Sienna is asking Shay what kind of wedding she would want.
Okay.
Shay says something small. They really don't have a lot of family. Sienna says that she couldn't warm up fast enough during the Karma Sutra exercise. Shay says she doesn't know why. What's his name? Brandan would say he was bored.
Yeah.
As the day went on, she thought that he was bored with her. Sienna was taking it more than what it actually was. I feel like she let her mind get the best of her, and she created a bigger situation.
Of course. Because she's the victim. She always plays the victim in her arguments.
And I'm just like, they were so good in the morning, but now she's over here ruminating on past stuff, getting herself worked up. I don't know if she had anything to drink. Sometimes that can play a factor and stuff. So I was just like, yeah, she's having this conversation with Shay and she's getting herself mad all over again.
She's replaying the events. Yep.
So he comes in to talk to her. He just kind of wants to chill. He's got some tea going downstairs, so he wants to check in to see what she's doing. Sienna says, I don't want to bore you. She says, you embarrassed me on national TV and called me boring. He says, I think I was talking about the position. Sienna asks, well, what did you tell Millie? He says, some of that is private. She said, how are you going to talk about me and not tell me what was said? Brandan says, this is why it's hard to communicate with you. Like all this energy is a lot.
Yeah.
Sienna says, you're talking about me behind my back. Brandan tells her she's not making sense. And then he walks out the room.
Stop right there, right? Throughout this time, Sienna's yelling. I'm sure her voice is vibrating off the walls.
Yeah.
Without being, what's the word? Picking sides, right? Not saying you are. Is there any valid points in Sienna's argument?
Yes, there are.
Help me with that.
If she wanted to know what was said between Millie and Brandan, I don't think that was a terrible question to ask.
Okay.
If you're venting to somebody or trying to get information or something to help the relationship, I don't see what's wrong with bringing that back to your partner and saying, hey, me and so talked. This is what we discussed. I think they said these things that were pretty positive, and I think this could help us. Because Millie did say some positive things that could help them in their relationship.
I think Millie said all positive things.
Yeah, and basically she was just telling him to be patient with her. And I felt like that's something he could have took to Sienna to say, she thought it would be helpful that I be more patient with you. Yeah. And that's something I want to work on. But in order for me to do that, I need you to give me a little grace too. Like, I feel like a conversation could have come about if he would have shared what he and Millie talked about. It could have been a productive conversation, but she was mad. Yeah. And she didn't approach it right. And she started it with, you called me boring, basically. So she's already in a defense mode because she's got it in her head that he called her boring. And now she's cherry picking at things to basically find something to be mad about. So she's figuring if he's not telling me what it is, then it must have been something really bad. So that's really my only thing with Sienna in this argument is like, yes, I feel like Brandan, you should have just told her what y'all talked about. Yeah. Because it really could have been a productive conversation. But I think he was honestly probably nervous.
Probably scared,
to be honest. And I don't think he wanted to communicate with her while she was that heightened. Yeah. So,
Brandan is not equipped to deal with a woman like this.
Okay.
He's not. Because I don't want to use the word weak, but I think he's too naive to deal with a woman like this. If you're going to be the type of guy to be like, I just don't give the energy and things like that, then you got to find, and if you really like this person, because I'm not saying that aggressive people should just be single and y'all should be alone. Yeah. Right? There's someone out there for y'all who is aggressive like Sienna, right? But there is a way to diffuse. If she's the aggressor, you have to accept the role that I am the diffuser. Yeah. If she's the bomb, you're the diffuser. The minute that woman said, you called me boring on national television, his response should have been like, that wasn't my intention. I apologize. Yep. Because that's the person he is presenting himself as. Yeah. I'm not saying I would have done that, right? Because I wouldn't have been there after you called me the B word.
Right, but if you want to be in a relationship with this person, you got to learn how to operate with him.
He presents himself as level-headed. Yeah. He presents himself as, I give my energy to positive things. You get what I'm saying? He's not playing the role. But instead, I don't want to use the word gaslighting, but he don't know that he is he's pouring gas on the situation. Yeah. She's asking things. So for one, he didn't diffuse the boring thing. And then he didn't diffuse when she asked him what happened. What did Millie say? What did y'all talk about? And then he said, well, that's private. I'm like, bro, you're not doing a good job being a diffuser.
But do you feel like that was a fair question for Sienna to ask? Do you think she had any points in her argument? Or
yes or no?
Well, go ahead.
I think right message, wrong messenger. Okay. Right? Because many times it's not pretty much what you say, but how you say it. So if you're yelling at me and demanding an answer, you're not going to get... Dealing with a man who got any type of pride in himself, you're not going to demand anything from him and he's going to give it to you. Yeah. Right? So like... But the thing about it is, Brandan haven't presented himself, in my opinion, to be that strong male on television. Just talk about the characteristics of him. I don't know the guy, right? So he presented himself to accept himself to be called out of his name. He presented himself to be in an argument. He presented himself to where she's yelling and he walks out the room because he don't like friction. He presented himself to laugh when he's nervous, when he don't really mean to laugh. There's nothing that basically makes me feel like, to use Greg's unfortunately analogy, that he has a backbone. You get what I'm saying? Dealing with this woman now. Let me go and give her criticism. Like, I don't know what you think you're going to get, like, once you realize you're not going to get something, Sienna, I don't understand the whole yelling thing. Like your approach is immature.
Yeah.
Off top, right? Even though you can be right or you can be, let's just take right out of it, not be wrong, but let's just say you're not right, it's just neutral. You can have a conversation about what do y'all talk about besides yelling and demanding what do y'all talk about. Do you get what I'm saying? He ain't coming in the room yelling at you, so why are you yelling at him? You get what I'm saying? Just because you hurt, you're not the victim. You get what I'm saying? But let's continue on, because I guess we're going to see some more things.
Yeah, well, Chris ends up talking to Brandan and asked him what's going on. Brandan was trying to say that he wasn't talking about her behind her back, but basically he couldn't get a word out. Honestly, you could have got a word out if you just yell a little bit.
Yeah, a little loud.
I wasn't talking about you. Right. I wasn't talking about you. Well, like, you could have got it out. But, you know, I think he was scared. I do think he was scared.
No, he's scared.
I think he was scared. And I want to also say that men can be scared of women. Like, I don't know. I agree with that. I don't think that's something to take lightly, because DV and abuse and all these types of things, they go both ways.
I agree with that, but I don't agree you should be scared.
No, but I feel like she's creating a hostile environment to where he's feeling scared.
Leave.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I mean, people do get scared. So I don't fault him for being scared, but I do wish that he would take a stand in some type of way.
And something, yeah.
And in front of her face, so she knows what's acceptable and what's not.
Of course.
You know? So Chris says, you really just need to dead the whole situation. Like, this is just not a good look. She's constantly hot and cold. Shay goes to ask Sienna what happened. She says that, you know, he must have said something nasty if he can't say to me what he said.
She's building her case in her head.
Yes. Brandan says that she crossed the line with the B thing, and honestly, he's been done since that moment.
Stop right there. I almost didn't let you get the word out, because I'm ready to jump on this.
Okay.
Don't try to present yourself as like, oh yeah, I'm a man, like I'm done. You wasn't done when y'all woke up the next day and y'all cooked dinner for everybody. When
you walked in there to check on her, lay in her bed, and see how she was feeling.
You wasn't done. Done. You will be where Dominique and Alexis is if you're done.
Yeah.
So what am I gonna see next episode? Are you gonna be with her? Do you get what I'm saying? Don't say you're done, but then like put yourself in the line of abuse and then cry when abuse happens, when it happened to you twice now.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? But go ahead, continue.
Yeah, no, so I agree with that too. I'm just like, if you're done, you need to communicate that with her. Like, I don't appreciate when people are one way in your face, two-faced basically. Two-faced. and different in another way. And I'm just like, Brandan, even though you're not the aggressor, you aren't being real and honest.
You are complacent in your situation.
And I think that you should have harder conversations with Sienna in order to let her know where you really stand. And if she's going to yell and scream and all that, who cares?
Yeah.
Let her. Okay. So Shay and Josh join the conversation with Chris and Brandan.
Yeah.
Josh is like, she likes you a lot, but it just seems that she's hurt.
You don't know that girl.
Chris says that honestly, like, Brandan has never talked bad about her. Josh says that they probably just need a reset. And Brandan, he says he's pretty much over it.
Okay.
Shay is just like, look, Sienna's hard around the edges, but she's really a sweet girl. Sienna comes down and throws some roses at his feet.
I'm happy it was roses. But
Brandan doesn't think she's worth fighting for.
But you're gonna fight, and you're gonna fight ill-equipped. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about this episode, or pretty much this scene? This scene was pretty much the episode, or basically the undertone of the whole episode.
Well, kind of just speaking to what Shay and Josh are saying, it's just like, she's hurt, she's rough around the edges, she's all this type of things. And Sienna, I think she even said it during a confessional at one point, like, you know, I have a hard outer shell, but when people really get to know me, like, they really see, like, I'm a really good person and all this stuff.
She did say that. She said, like, once she loves you, she fight for you real hard and things like that. You just gotta get past the shell.
Yeah. And I guess you got to be the type of person who wants to fight through them battles in order to get to the soft and squishy part. Me, I ain't that type. If you mean to me, I ain't got nothing to say to you. I ain't trying to get to know you. So I think that maybe Sienna doesn't understand that this hard outer shell that you've created for yourself to protect yourselves is actually repelling probably some good people. So even though you think people should get to know you and get to know the better side of you, people aren't going to wade through all that mud and dirt and gunk in order to get to know you, because it's just like, you seem awful, so I'm gonna just let you be awful.
Especially at a 43, 44-year-old woman.
Right. So for Brandan, I'm just like, if you want to fight that uphill battle, that's up to you. But take a stand and let her know where you stand, because I think it's unfair to her for you to be wishy-washy, giggling when stuff isn't funny. Like, say what's up for real, so she knows what to actually think and how to move.
Yeah.
So
this is where the sentiment "happy wife, happy life" comes from. Right? These type of personalities that Sienna shows, in the sense of, if you're going to be with this person, Brandan, that's why I say he's ill-equipped, because the type of personality he have, it doesn't go with this. It has nothing to do with just like, I don't raise my voice, I'm nice. You got to have hard lines, as well as you got to always be apologetic. Because you got to understand, you with someone who always sees herself as a victim. That's why she is who she is. She feels like she got this far in life by being this hard, by being this aggressive, by being basically whatever she's showing herself on TV, right? So if you're not ready to put yourself in a position to submit to a position of, you're right, baby, I'm sorry, baby, for the rest of your life, don't be with this girl. Because that's what it calls for with her.
yeah.
There's no reasoning of, like, I'm not yelling. Why are you yelling at me? She can justify it by, I asked you the question 3 times. What did you tell Millie? You know what I'm saying? So unless you're willing to subject yourself and say, this is what I told Millie, it was nothing bad. I'm sorry I made you feel this way. And you willing to do that 365 days and on leap year 366 days, right? Unless you're willing to subject yourself to that, then you're not equipped to be with this girl.
Yeah.
There are guys who are with girls who are like this. There are girls who are with guys like that, who feel like, you know what? Being alone is worse than subjecting myself under this.
And it works for them. Some people, it works for them.
But he's not equipped for it.
Yeah, so maybe find a nice girl.
Exactly. Find a nicer girl who can match your energy and things like that, who can never force you to make hard lines. You know? Because at the end of the day, she's talking to you like this because she don't respect you. Period.
Yeah.
It's just that thing. And maybe you have shown yourself as someone who doesn't demand or to be respected. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not on the show. I don't know you. I'm just going off of what Sienna called you out your name.
Yeah.
Only because you say, hey, you've been a little inconsistent in how you've been going around. Well, you a B word. I'm like, well, pretty much damn. You get what I'm saying? Like,
how about you two? How about that?
Exactly. Come on now. Listen here. There's
we both a couple of B's.
There's nothing to you have shown nothing, at least in these past 3 episodes, I think it is, that you like friction. Right. And as a guy, you cannot avoid friction, right? And I'm not even talking about in your relationship. I'm just talking about in life. It just seemed like he wanted to avoid friction, right? In that moment, when you got called out your name, you should have walked over to her, right? Put the pool stick down. Don't hit her, right? You should have walked over to her and say, that's unacceptable. We're not doing that. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
That's not, and that's also in relationships too. You guys have to figure out how you're going to argue, you know, and what's respectful argument looks like. And if you're at a point where you can't do it, then you need to take a walk.
Exactly. And pretty much be like, that's unacceptable. Yes. And I'm not the type of person, because I don't like people who demand apologies. But at that moment, we're like, I need an apology for us to keep going. Yeah. Because like, that's very unacceptable. And if she don't give you an apology, if she takes basically your feelings for granted, then pack your bag and leave. Yeah. Anything else, Blair?
That's all I got.
Listen here. I want to hear what y'all thought. I want to hear. I'm sure we got some Sienna subscribers in the chat. You get what I'm saying? Let us know if Brandan is equipped to deal with a woman like Sienna. If you are a woman like Sienna, let us know how to deal with someone like you. Yeah. Someone who is hard on the outside, but really soft on the inside and things of that nature. You get what I'm saying? Anything else, Blair?
That's it.
Y'all be good.
Bye.